How you doing, guys? Someone asked me in the messages, how do you build the lock back when the pins are dropped down? So I'm going to show you two different type of locks, and we're gonna build the lock back together. So right now I have the follower. Let's get started. So the follower position is not to let the pins and the springs drop. So I'm going to take one of them out, and as soon as I pull the follower, we're going to see in this case we have two pins. There is the master pin and there is a regular top pin, and there is also a spring on top. This is what pushes it down. I'm going to shake it to take it out, and this is how it looks like. The spring is a little bit beaten up because it had more pressure because it had two pins squeezing on it, but we're gonna build it again. So I'm gonna pull the follower and just take all of the pins and springs out so I can show you how to build it back together. Now everything is empty, so I'm gonna shake it and everything is out. Now we're gonna go and start putting the springs and the pins from the center, from the middle, because that's the hardest. So I'm gonna take the follower and put it at the tail of the lock, and I'm gonna look inside until it stops on the third hole inside, in the third chamber. That way we can, and I'm leaving a pin key on the follower because I'll have to push. So I'm taking the spring, the first spring, and I'm gonna take a tweezers and I'm gonna slide it on the third chamber to make sure it goes to the chamber, and then I'm going to take a top pin, and the top pins are square. I'm going to hold it from the edge of the pin so it will be easy to squeeze it in the chamber. I'm going to slide it in, and as soon as it slides a little bit, I'm going to push with my pin key. I'm going to push the follower to tighten it up against the chamber. And sometimes you take a couple of tries because the middle one is the most complicated one. As soon as you hold it with the follower, you need to take a flathead, and then you can push the pin down, pushing on the spring, and with the follower you're pushing the follower to cover it. Now you're on the second pin and you do the same. Then you go to the first pin. I'm going to show it again. You put the spring first, then you take the top pin and you slide it a little bit, you push it down, and then you push the follower to hold it, and then with a flathead you're going to push the rest of the pin in, and the follower keeps it safe. After I done this part, I'm going to go to the back. There is 6 pins here, so I'm going to go again, and I'm going to make sure the follower does not cover the 3 chambers. I'm going to go to the deepest one. I'm going to put a spring. After I put the spring, I'm going to take a top pin, square pin, and I'm going to slide it in. And as soon as I slide it, I already hold the follower to push it, to keep it in position, because the spring is going to try to push it out. Now the follower covers it. Now I'm going to go to the second from the end, the second pin, the second chamber. I'm going to put the spring again inside the chamber. Then I'm going to take a pin. As outside of the lock that you're going, it's easier it gets. Again, you push on the follower, you take a flathead and you push the pin down with a spring, and the follower follows and keep it in the space. And the last one, we're going to take a new spring because their spring was ruined. So I'm going to put a new spring inside. And then I'm going to take also a new top pin, in average the same size of the other ones, and I'm going to slide it also in the last chamber because it's the tail of the lock, and the follower is going to hold it steady. Then I'm going to take the flathead and push it inside, and now the follower back holds all 6 springs and top pins from falling down. After I rekey the lock, I can slide it in, and that's the shim that I hold inside, and now everything works the way it should. So in case you drop it, you can do it on those locks where you cannot reach the pins and the springs from the top part. The main difference between the locks is this one, you cannot go from outside of the lock. You need to go from inside to the chambers. So you have to use the tweezers. On this one, on the other side, you have the top part that you can remove. So I'm going to remove the C-clip at the tail of the lock, and then I'm going to take the original keys, I'm going to slide it in and turn it a little bit in order to remove the plug. And I'm going to take a follower and we're going to put it at the tail of the lock and going to push the plug out. Now I'm going to clear some area and we're going to drop all the pins to show you how to put all of the pins and springs back. So after all of them are back, what we're going to do is we're going to take the follower and we're going to put it back in the lock in order to protect them from falling down again. And now with the flathead, I'm going to pop the aluminum cover on top of it. Sometimes you do it from one side, sometimes you need to pop both sides, and watch out because it's going to jump out somewhere, so you need to follow it and put it on the side. Now we're going to start by putting all of the top square pins inside. So we're going to put each one 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and we need to make sure that those are the square top pins and not the sharp edge pins like the bottom pins. After we put all of those 5 pins, we're going to start placing all the springs. I'm a righty, so I'm going to start from the left to right, so I don't need to touch them too much. I'm going to put all 5 of them, and after all of them are lined nice and flat, I'm going to take the cover back, the aluminum, and I'm going to pop it back in from both sides of the lock. And now you have all the springs and pins aligned correctly. After we're done that, I'm going to put it on the side and I'm going to rekey the existing lock real quick. So stay with me. After it's rekeyed, we can just push the plug back inside, make sure that the key turns nice and smooth. And now we're going to connect the C-clip in the back to make sure that the plug doesn't come out. And that's it, everything works fine. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below and I would love to answer. Thank you very much for watching.